Might only be week 3, but this might shape up to be one of the hottest matchups that we have here on XLNC Phantom Cup. This is, of course, week 3. My name is Golden Falcon. Joined by me is Sparky Gamer Dog, and we're here to bring you guys Team Shiiiish versus Pepe Gang.
I'm really excited for this matchup. Both of these teams haven't met each other before. This will be the first time. And this is going to be hot. Team Sheesh is actually number one in the league right now. They have not lost a single best of three so far, and they're looking to keep that number one spot. Team Pepe Gang, on the other hand, is 1-1 in this league, looking to maybe try and tie it up with Team Sheesh here and maybe overthrow them here in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, one of the reasons that this might be one of the best games that we have on air. I mean, obviously, Team Sheesh is playing every single week, right? It's not like we're off stream. They don't play. No, they play every single week. Last week's game, I'm not sure how many people in the audience actually understand this or are aware, but Team Sheesh went 22 and 20 to win their matchup, and Andrew dropped a whopping 57 kills. That is no small feat. That's averaging over approximately like 1.3 kills a or 1.3 kills around, and as well, like over 40 rounds. That's a lot of endurance, and that was basically one of the reasons they were able to take it over the line. He went above and beyond to try and secure them the win. So we'll see if we can do the same this time versus Pepe game, which they are not flawless. They have lost the map. They've lost a series this season. And I mean, considering the other teams in this league, it's not entirely a surprise. There are other really strong teams like Faith, like Lotus, and yeah, Pepe Gang's gonna have to bring the heats if they want to beat Team Sheesh with Andrew on this roster.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Andrew play. Let's see if he still has, that fragging potential that he did on the last map that this team played in this series. And I believe we should have the map picks and bans very soon. Now, one of the players actually on Pepe Gang is, Viper. His name is Viper only, so I'm expecting a Viper here, in probably all of the maps. I want to see him live up to his name.
It is interesting though. I think one of the strongest maps for Viper is actually Breeze, and Pepe Gang happens to ban that one out after Team Sheesh takes Split out of the rotation. So I'm looking for maybe like an ice box from Pepe Gang if they still have a pick in their pockets, which they do. They're taking their time with it. But yeah, like you mentioned, like if this man is actually just a straight up Viper player, Team Sheesh picks that Haven, which is Viper's, I think, one of Viper's weakest maps. So that makes sense if they're looking to counter pick. If they're not, maybe it's just the comfort pick for Team Sheesh. Not really going to be surprised because I mean they're probably one of the strongest teams in this tournament right now, and like this is one of the most flexible maps. So fair enough. But once again, Pepe Gang, there goes a bind. That is going to be an interesting one because I mentioned I actually mentioned excuse me, I mentioned what did I mention again? My brain just blanked. Split, Breeze, Haven, Bind. Haven and Bind will be played.
Yeah.
The decider will be Ascent. So the one map I did
hmm
mention before is not actually going to be in the in the rotation, unfortunately. But nonetheless, anyways, yeah. So those are our three maps. Haven, Bind, and Ascent are going to be our potentials for today. Haven and Bind guaranteed. And Pepe Gang choosing attacks. They're choosing attack on Haven. That's I guess that doesn't make that's not too out of the ordinary because Haven is one of those attacker-sided maps. Defense unbind for Team Sheesh. Pepe Game going back to defense for Ascent, so everything is pretty standard. Maybe other than the fact that we have no icebox. That was what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that no icebox. I really kind of wanted to see icebox being picked. I believe that what was it, Andrew actually popped off on one of those maps as well. So I'm a little bit surprised. We should be seeing some good games though. Haven should be very interesting. Like you said before, one of Viper's weakest maps, and we'll see whether or not that pick is used. I think it can still be utilized decently well. Maybe they'll run like another controller with it, and I think at that point, you can use Viper as more of that sentinel, trying to really just stop the pushes and get a lot more
Mhm.
control over mid, which can be kind of awkward to hold otherwise. So excited to see how these teams really shake up that map and play around it to get onto a map that has three different spike sites.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's not even like Viper can't be used on that map, right? Because of course, Team Sheesh, excuse me, Team Pepe again, they did pick that bind for their. So it kind of makes sense because that is one of Viper's better maps, I think, right next to that icebox. But once
Mhm.
again, it is unfortunate that they didn't get the first map pick. I don't really blame them. They would probably have. I'm surprised they didn't want the breeze, but nonetheless, maybe it's just the fact that the map is too new. They didn't want to have to deal with that. But again, we'll end up seeing. And so yeah, we're getting the lobby set up, and hopefully these teams will end up in their correct positions in time. But first map will be Haven. And I'm definitely looking for, once again, we mentioned this name like 50 times today already, but Andrew Shiiiish to absolutely just pop off. He's going to be the Jet player. He's on their team. If not Jet, maybe another duelist, but I would not be surprised if they let him just loose on that agent to do whatever he wants, to make space, to make room, and to keep himself alive with the utility that she has, with the dash, just to get away safe, even if he misses a shot, which doesn't end up happening too often. But just in case, every single backup plan that this man just has is going to be utilized to just make him the absolute killing machine that his team just needs him to be. If he doesn't show up, I don't see them taking maybe even a map. I'm not saying the rest of the team isn't strong enough, but their playstyle relies on him so much that he is going to be the one to have to get kills.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. You know, just looking at their history, looking at their previous maps. Whenever I look at the scoreboard, it really does seem like when Andrew is popping off, Sheesh just feels so good. They're able to win out maps really easily. But when Andrew is countered well, I don't think they necessarily have that entry, that aggression that they need, and maybe falling apart just a little bit. We are into agent select here, and it seems like Team Sheesh not wasting any sort of time. Of course, Andrew, as we talked about, will be on that Jet, and Kevin actually going for that breach. I expect to see a lot of flash and dashes since they're starting on the defensive half. I think especially towards Seaside, it's just a really classic flash and dash angle that can catch a lot of people off guard.
Is he gonna do it? Is he? No way. He's locking Brim. He picked up. He clicked on Viper for just a hot second, but maybe he understands that Haven is not the map. It's possible. This is very difficult if that's their solo smoker, and they're maybe considering that fact. But, he's taking his time. But yeah, like we mentioned, I think Team Shiiiish actually are running a pretty OG setup, other than maybe the Sky. Everyone else is well. There goes the Brim. So yeah, understanding that Viper might not be the best option. But yeah, other than the Sky, everything is really original. Like you see the Omen being played and the Breach as well. That's something that we haven't seen in quite a while, I think, in top tier play. But if they study those old VODs, those old Korean VODs with Vision Strikers and all that stuff, maybe that's definitely what they're going for, because that's what you have, right? The Jet
Yeah.
just opening up after those flashes, after those stuns.
Yeah, I'm. It's also a pretty meta comp so far. You know, initiators are just so strong in this patch with the Sky, with the breach. All those flashes and utility can be used. One, to get information with those Sky flashes with the dog, but two, just to entry this Jet in. Right, they're really investing in this Jet, investing in that sheer aggression power that they have. And let's see if it really works out for them into our first game of this best of three series here on Haven between Team Shiiiish and Pepe gang, and already looks to be like an A hit is on the table.
Yeah, A hit. It's gonna be fast too. There's three different classic armor setups on these attacking players, and I mean that they've got to go fast, right? They've got two ghosts backing up with Najula and Nadatha on those weapons, and they're gonna be taking the longer range fights and maybe going for some more precision gunfights as well, because they are on those two duelists, which makes sense. The utility players are the ones that aren't investing in those bigger weapons, but Andrew is already out here on the long A getting aggressive. He wants an early fight, and he's getting the info on whether they're crossing or not. There goes the shots. Maybe a few missed bullets here and there, and Andrew is going to be the one to take the brunt of the damage. He actually has to get back and maybe wait for some support from the team, but he at least gets the info that at least three are on long A. Dashes out. They burn that at least, and 50 of his HP. Three players on the A site. Now it's all up to Pepe again to decide what they want to do. Do they want to commit or do they want to go back?
Interesting that two smokes were used at the back end of it, because that's a lot of utility, especially on this pistol round. Nadatha, though, lurked all the way into garage. There's a 4 stack on A from Team Shiiiish so far, so C seems to be pretty clear, and that's where Team Pepe Games seem to be wanting to go for.
Camera spots absolutely nothing. These guys are walking straight through garage. Really nice discipline from Gen. Now he sees them funneling onto the site, but he doesn't know about the last lurk. It's all up to the timing. Maybe Oatmeal catches him off guard, but it's not going to be the case. Gen has a headshot. Andrew with a second kill on the site, and coming back into the garage goes the Cypher, and Ajula is on that late lurk. He's not going to be able to find anything. The shots even miss, and he gets caught by the stun. Wait! Those are some nice shots. Maybe a bit of luck involved, but it is nonetheless the first round. Pistol going towards Team Shiiiish.
No, Anton, in a lot of these games that we've watched in this series so far, or not this series, in this league so far, it felt like a lot of them, this is a plat cap tournament, so a lot of them
Mhm.
felt very aim dually, not too heavy on the strats, but you can tell from this first pistol round, this is going to be a good game. Both of these
Mhm.
teams playing more towards that default rather than that full rush style, and they're really running these strats. They're grouping up, making sure they trade each other out. In that last round, though, unfortunately for Pepe Gang, Shiiiish just had a good collapse from the back, from the front, and now they'll be able to buy up towards the sort of rifles. A Guardian in the hand of Shiiiish or Andrew, and he's still going so aggressive on this A main.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think he landed a single shot. Just unfortunate. He gets driven back and actually burns a dash off of that, and they're gonna go right into this A, but finally lands the bullets that he needs to. Instant train from Nadatha, but Kevin Shiiiish has two, gets the third as well, and all of a sudden there's one left alive. That's the Cypher coming up long A. Nothing to find. Second round nearly flawless.
Yeah, nearly flawless. Only one person does drop. That will be Andrew Shiiiish. And yeah, they're just going to recover that gun easily. Actual good push onto the site, but again, just the gunfire was too much to handle. The crossfire from the person hiding around boxes as well. Seems like Team Shiiiish like to play these pinches, and it's working for them pretty well. Pepe Gang definitely need to watch their backs a little bit more. But it is the first buy round for Pepe Gang. They have some Vandals, they have some Phantoms. They're looking to play more towards this mid and towards this default. And B/Garage seems to be on the table. The only thing really distracting them right now is that tripwire, the Omen jiggle peeking towards this garage pressure. But this means that Andrew Shiiiish pushing up all the way towards a long has gotten all the information that his team needs to really stack the side of the map.
Yeah, but they're going fast, though. It depends on the timing, whether he can get past this trip fast enough. He's going to want to maybe jump over him, and he shoots it. So now they know this flank is coming. They want to wrap towards this A, or they commit to this plant. They end up doing the latter. The wall goes up, but it's instantly shot down outside C-Link. And now Andrew, he's all the way back in the window, but Taps is the one to win the fight on the rifling player. So it's just fine for the time being. Still 4-on-5 retake if the defense wants to go for it. And they're on the extremities. This Breach prepping his fault line for these two, maybe even three players. But no, he's got a flash in hands. At least hits one. Is able to gain some forward positioning before Oatmeal takes out a teammate. Kevin, though, comes back with one, and still the kill feeds the Zipper. Back and forth they go. Silver is the last alive inside mid. The final defender not able to come back in. That's the swing round going towards Pepe Gang.
Yeah, a little bit surprising, honestly, from that play by Pepe Gang. Usually when you plant on that B side on Haven, you want to do that complete evacuation, play towards mid, make sure you can catch out those flankers, and then spam the spike with bullets anytime you hear that diffuse sound going off. But Pepe Gang, they decide to play on site, just get some trades for themselves. Might be a little bit costly since two players were, killed in that exchange, and they don't necessarily have the money to buy up into this next round. Some Spectres for Nadatha and Oatmeal, and now it is that full buy for the side of Shiiiish. Again, Andrew playing so heavy towards this A long, and now that Kevin got caught out, it's all up to Andrew to really prevent against this push, but no, getting taken out as well. This is complete site control for Pepe Gang, and with only 3 members left of this defense, you wonder whether or not they even want to go for this.
I can't see it happening. Jin even puts a trip inside the spawn smoke just to prevent anyone pushing too aggressively. Punish for anyone that wants to get a bit too eager and hunt for some kills, but there's a lot of time for this spike to tick down, so if anyone goes too far, they could end up maybe giving up a retake, going straight in. The trip even, I mean, it doesn't matter for the time being, but Oatmeal, yeah, he's on top of the wall. Silver doesn't even bother to check. It's only a 2 versus 5, and they look like they're going back to save.
Yeah, save these guns into the next round. The econ isn't looking too hot for them. So these 2 rifles being saved up, I expect the rest of the team to pretty much save for the next round. But we still go towards that even score line at 2-2 throughout all of this. Both of the defensive players also on, completely other sides of the map, not going to get taken out in this kind of post-round phase. But Anton, we're completely tied up. You can just see how close these games are probably going to be, and now the ultimates are being built up as well.
Yeah, indeed, and maybe the last round a bit too aggressive. Kevin got Andrew, both of them I mean, Kevin, yeah, he peeks down that short A, gets taken out, and Andrew has to try and engage to try and prevent these attackers from getting on site that fast, and he loses his life as well. And hopefully this time, the goal is for that not to happen. Andrew is one off the knives, maybe going to farm the orb up this long A, but he's got a lot of attention going towards his direction until, actually, they all opt towards to go to the mid window instead of peeking on his long A. So he gets that orb for free, pops the knives, and now it's basically another semi-full buy, silver on an SMG, but everyone else is looking very, very pretty.
With fire a bit. Silver's in a bad spot.
Oh, no! No! Silver! Oh, he did... that's... You can't be doing that, man. Not in this kind of tournament. Nadatha at least gets traded back, but that should have been at least 3 kills. Even some info on this mid player. It's all up to replay. But it doesn't matter. Taps has that trade. Whoa. What? That's a nuts transfer from Kevin. Even in the middle of a spray, has that adjustment. I mean, can this be doable? There are knives, and even an ultimate, it's only going to hit one, though. Who can get the timing on that spawn player? It doesn't matter. At least Andrew gets his way onto the site before the molly goes out. So they found site control for the time being. 2 players flanking. Kevin is going to be on the spike and the knives. Andrew has to watch for this right now, and he's got the headshot. The ultimate comes out. Ditch denies the defuse at the time being, and it's a 1 versus 1. Time of the essence for both these players, but it has reached half. Andrew could end up sticking this, but he gets the right click anyways, and should have plenty of time for this defuse.
I'm kind of surprised that they go for that. They use the Rolling Thunder as well, and I think that really just shows this Breach and Jet combo. It can be so good to get your team into the site. Got down really close into this 1v1. The molly, if it was just a little bit more towards the right, would have made sure that Andrew couldn't have gotten that defuse. But in the end, it means that Team Shiiiish, they go up in round count. It kind of secures their econ a little bit more too, because they'll be able to buy up to some rifles. And on the other side, Team Pepe gang still looking pretty healthy. Rifles in hand. They have the jet knives and that neural theft as well if the initial pick goes their way. I gotta say, man, Andrew's playing so aggressive, excuse me, on this A long, and he's been pushed back pretty much every time. A good shot from him is gonna take out Nadatha though.
It's a fast push from every single member on the attack right now. No one on the lurk. There are trips to prevent any close flanks and maybe even a cam if need be, but everyone's just stacked up off that A long. Smoke's coming through. I'm going to flash to delay the short push just a tiny bit, but they're wrapping all the way around. The ultimate comes in and takes out one before it gets traded back. In replay, though, he peeks around the default position, gets 3 different kills. Nadatha now has to swing back sight, but Jen, they both walk into this man's spray, and that's a 1 god. Last alive for the Team Shiiiish, and they get the 4th round in a row.
Genjin and Silver's might actually lined up for that spray, but the bullets just weren't there. The fire rate was not high enough. And how does Sky just get onto the site and get a spray down onto 3 members? That cannot be happening in this kind of tournament here, Anton. It felt like they got a little bit complacent once they killed that Breach and the Jet on site. In the end, it does go over to Team Shiiiish in a very big clutch situation. 4-2 on the scoreline. Everyone has a rifle in the server now except for Oatmeal. The res was blown in that exchange as well. So Ultimate still favors the Team Shiiiish a little bit more in replay. With a good pick onto Nebula, gonna stop any aggression towards this mid.
An immediate flash. It was worth it too. And Jen, Nadatha's trying to get this lurk up long C, and it doesn't work. I think he got tripped or something. Then he gets this cage, and he can't see at that point. This is wall hacks one way. Replay gets aggressive off that. Maybe a bit too big. Oatmeal tries to take him out, and he is successful inside that B. So there is a bit of a weakness now in the middle of the map, but Andrew, all the way in the back lines, he's walked up that long A and taken at least 1 head with him. Seems to understand that Oatmeal's beneath him, and he takes the second one before Jen cleans up inside garage.
Yeah, Andrew again with that aggression. It seems like Pepe game likes to go towards this mid, spend a little bit more of that time getting this sort of mid control, but Andrew with this aggression is just so good, right? He's able to find the space early, recognizing that A long probably cleared out, getting this flank, getting the kills, and I think that's just so standard of Andrew. You have to have someone watching that, making sure that you can punish him for this aggressive playstyle that he's going for.
Yeah, unless they have a trip. I mean, even if they do have a trip, he just shoots it. He doesn't even care. He is Jet, so he does have the capability to just drive over it. But this time, they're running into him. Either wise, maybe not. They burn the dash at least, and then coming up this short position already is an instant tray into Kevin, but these rotates are already in. One player backside. Oatmeal, though, takes out the front lines. So this might end up working out nonetheless. The flash doesn't land, so Najula has the vision to take out the backside player. Coming back in, they're trapping Silver in this cage. He's still here. They don't know about it, but he's going to be biding his time, just waiting for the perfect time to strike. And now, when the cage is now down, he walks out of it, and maybe he's able to get one. Cannot deny the plant, and can't even take out the backside player. Last alive is Gen Gen, gets flashed out and doesn't find a single kill. Third round now for Pepe Gang.
That was weirdly probably one of the most chaotic spike sites I've ever seen. There were just smokes everywhere, the brimstone smokes on the site, the cipher cages as well. So much vision denial. And in the end, the two players from Team Shiiiish get found out. And I like what Pepe Gang is doing, right? They're punishing the sheer aggression from this breach, from this Jet on A. It's really hard to hold that A site as just that initiator and that duelist. And they're recognizing that and getting the space there. I just want them to, punish it a little bit more. They seem to be trying different strats, but if A is working, just keep abusing it until the other team changes something.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they can't handle Andrew rotating back in to do these retakes, maybe they just go right into his face, take him out early. That's the solution. Don't let him flank you. He's coming up that long A already. And now the info that these players are stalled outside garage, outside mid, it's in. Even a flash, it's good, but Oatmeal has a better headshot, takes out the Omen. Smoke's now gone, and even the trip. The flash, still not good enough. They're still staying alive in this garage. They are getting flanked, and Andrew, though, this time he misses the shots. This time he can't manage to get the kills, and the ultimate's out, and even the kill on the flanker. These players on Pepe Gang have every single place on the map opened up. They can decide to go wherever they want, but Kevin, though, trying to answer back, takes out two in garage, maybe staying their welcome a bit too long. This retake now very, very possible in the 2 versus 3.
Definitely staying there, staying a little bit too long. Two people on C and you peek into probably the biggest choke point in the entire map. A double flank, though, coming out from Team Shiiiish. I like that they're playing together to trade each other out. Crossfire is being set up so far on the B site from pretty much every single player. A Breach does have, an ultimate to his name, and maybe they use it to go for this.
Oh, he is popping it, and they're going to be driven in, actually, with that ultimate, but the spray down, he doesn't finish the first kill. Najula is still alive. He's stunned, and the bullets are slow, but they land in target, and that's the 4th round, keeping it close between these two teams for Pepe Gang.
Yeah, a little bit interesting that they actually opt to go for this. The time is ticking down, but they use the Rolling Thunder anyway. This was a pretty good crossfire setup on the site from Pepe Gang. They completely ignore the Jet, which is an interesting strategy. They are allowed to walk, through, since that concuss slows down the bullets quite a bit. In the end, the just firepower was too much for them, and they go up another round. 5-4, getting close to evening it up, and the res is available if anything goes wrong. Oh, but some aggression. Ajula is able to just get 2 right off the bat.
It seems like a lot has gone wrong already, but this is for the side of Andrew Shiiiish, and even though 1 kill, the rest is going to be invested. Andrew now last alive, and that fell apart for Team Shiiiish, and Andrew's the one left to pick up all the pieces. They all run away from him. I don't even think they know he's behind them, but it doesn't matter. They're going and they're hunting for this final kill. Knives out, so maybe a chance to snowball if these players don't manage to find their way back to site. And there's the first kill for Andrew. App's fall has been everyone else is funneling back, and they're looking to just trap him in this location. He cannot get out, misses the blaze, and there it goes. 1 kill is all that's found.
Yeah, just the aggression on that eco from Team Shiiiish there. Not the worst strat in the world. I feel like I want something a little bit more, 5-man pushy rather than everyone running down their own lane, since they just don't have the firepower to necessarily back it up. Although, talking about firepower here, Anton, Andrew has now bought up the operator. I'm going to look to see whether or not that's going to have that sort of impact. Looking towards a long. Now, it does seem like Team Pepe Gang are going for this. They have been pretty good about smoking the cross flashing out of it, so maybe Andrew won't have necessarily the same amount of impact, but no. Nadatha just going to dry peek it, trusting his aim, but There's a big sniper on the other side.
Yeah, I think that even Nadatha might have had a sniper in his own hands, but he just peeks out a bit too far. The wall bang is in, and he gets absolutely angled on that wooden box in A lobby. So they're not even going to try and challenge that again, leaving the trip there, just leaving that A site completely, trying to work up this C. But there is a Sky holding hard right with Silver all the way back with a flash in hands, and even, I think Replay might have
Okay.
flashed himself. Could not see the targets on the other end along C. So they all retreat except for this one. They're leaving the spike there on their, well, not exactly their Viper player in this instance, but for the time being, it doesn't matter. Andrews rotated off of that A, and they wanted to avoid that op, but the op is hunting them.
Definitely is still looking towards this B site. And again, Pepe gang just want to go for this. He sees the barrel just in time, and the flick is good onto Oatmeal. 2 people left, and at this point, it really feels like she should just save. And
Wow, Piper's full blind, can't even see his exit strategy.
30 seconds
There's
left.
one player, taps, and he gets one with the tripwire, and all the blinds in this location, but he doesn't manage to get hit by the second one, and swings out, gets 2. Andrew, though, switching onto the rifle, at least cleans up the round and should pick up that operator again. That was a bit fortunate for Taps that he didn't get hit by the second flash because he got nearsighted, right? But it's still 6 rounds for the side of Team Shiiiish.
yeah, a little bit interesting that they don't swing off of the concuss. He gets double concussed as well. The flash. Oh, I think. Oh, you're right. They flashed themselves and they couldn't capitalize. Cost them 2 kills for themselves. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Although now in this next round, almost even in scoreline, 1 round left of the half. There's an operator on both sides, and it's actually not on the Jet for Pepe game. It's on the Brimstone of all choices.
Oh, curious decision. Jet dashes up. I mean, I guess that's why, right? They want her to cut space. They want her to go up forward real fast before they can find any success on the defense. And Gen at least has that Odin. You see why. With those tripwires, he can work off of. But fortunate for the attack, they send the ultimate in first, so that's the only thing they lose. Second trip gets hit. Gen tries to spray. Not going to find too much in return, but they're walking through that damage, and the op is going to be next to engage. Peeks out, takes out the Brimstone, but Ndatha is up in the heaven, tries to hunt with the knives out. Should maybe have the second, but he gets stunned. Gen is able to push on that, and this time they capitalize. Flash not exactly landing. Replay. Bit of a missed bird there, but it's still fine. Kevin tries to get back in and has success of his own. Replay a second frag, and now it's all up to the Phoenix. Has to take out so many players on such low HP. Has the first frag. Now tries to get the molly out. Does successfully do that as well. Drives him off the spike. Kevin is very, very low on it. And Najula comes straight to the smoke. Perfect transfer to cut his quad and tie up the scoreline going into the second half.
Najula plays the angle so well. A little bit unfortunate for the Sky there on that timing, but even in this, right, he's 1 HP, throws the volley to get the person off of the spike, peeks through the angle, uses the vision now to get the first kill, transfers to the second. Najula going huge on that clutch to get themselves to this even scoreline, and that's big. That means that if they win this pistol round for Pepe gang, they'll go up in round count instead of just going to even.
That is absolutely insane. I mean, that's exactly what they needed, right? And I guess that might be the solution that teams actually are required to have if they want to beat Team Shiiiish. They have someone else that can match the aggression of Andrew, the aim of Andrew, and so far, Najula is doing that, but more. He's got the Ghost this time, wants some long-range engages, he wants to take fights, and now he's going to be peeking into that mid, maybe taking a fight with the Omen. Damage is not exactly exchanged, Ndatha even. Coming back and taking this orb long A, have free ult point. 1 closer to knives, and the rest of the team of Team Shiiiish is coming up this C, hiding behind this smoke for the time being, and they get re-smoked though. It's going to be so much delay. Silver is going to flash on into garage and maybe go for this hit right now, but Najula is still sitting pretty over here, likely able to win the fight. The right click lands, but not on the head, so Najula still stays alive. Flash even is good enough for Gen to trade out that kill, but Ndatha is still on the site, able to take out one. Andrew trades back once again, but the defensive Jet has now been removed from the game. 1 versus 2 now for the Brimstone, coming back into the garage, and Viper is low enough on health for Gen to get the body shot for the triple kill and the second pistol round win.
Ooh, what, what an absolute mess of a round. They wait inside the smoke from Sheesh. They just wait for those flashes to come up. And really, that's the strength of this team comp, right? You have the breach flashes, you have the sky flashes. As long as you have that smoke to sneak up, you can exec onto the site pretty well. The gunfights were a little bit awkward. It goes the way of Team Sheesh, and they'll actually be able to buy up into this next, or sorry, not Team. Yes, Team Sheesh. Sorry, getting the colors confused just a little bit. Buying up to some Spectres and some Bulldogs, able to play those long range angles, especially what you want to see on this attacking side. A lot of pressure towards mid, and the only person there is that Brimstone. Now going to have the rotate come over. Sheesh though, put their sights on Garage.
Sight's maybe a bit more denying the sight from Najula. He doesn't want to push through, and he doesn't hear them running all the way through the sea either. It's all at the tops. He's the one to get all this info for his team, and maybe even a frag. Shots almost missed, and he's able to get one, but teammates traded out, and even the Phoenix is no longer on the board in the garage, and Oatmeal does get spotted. Second player likely heard inside that mid, coming back through, and the shotgun may be able to land. Not quite. Oatmeal was the one to push up first. And Nadatha is stuck inside this garage. Dash is over even. Covers the clock. I mean, he's really got nothing to do at this point. He's trying to just bait out anyone to peek out close. He's having fun with this. I appreciate that. He understands the situation. There's nothing to do. Maybe they'll wait for some mistakes, but the 2 versus 4 likely going to be waiting for some exits, if anything. Just a little bit nod.
You always love to see that in this game of Valorant. You know, tournament settings can be very stressful, and having that player to kind of lighten up the mood a little bit, keep everyone's mental from not going boom, can help actually quite a bit. Reminds me a lot of, you know, Boaster on Fnatic and how he's always that goofball that really helps his team's mental. But going into this next round, Pepe gang on their rifles. Now this is where the pressure's on. They have to win this next round in order to make sure things don't snowball for Shiiiish, who's still rocking every single gun that they bought into that last round.
It is a very, very big bonus right now. There's only one rifle, 4 SMGs. Very wise by them to stack up in one place. They're likely going to be able to trade out. There's only 2 players on this A. Viper only. He does spot out one. Now understands the hit's coming. Burns a dash from the defensive jet. On top of the box she goes. Good off angle. Maybe a flash to drive her off. And Andrew, though, goes up. And that was a perfect blind by that Sky. Coming in. Plant going down, and Viper doesn't manage to catch even a single kill. Silver, in fact, catches him off guard. Now it's a 3 versus 5. Advantage for the SMGs. All these close-range fights should be not too favorable for these rifles, but Oatmeal, he does have a headshot angle, so technically still in advantage, has the heaven position. Is he able to be the angel that his team needs, though? Everyone is just hiding on that default, on that spike, and they're just pre-firing these positions, but all these kills are being had from the defenders. They're coming back in, and it's successful until those 2 stereo kills from these last remaining spike defenders. Kevin now remaining. He needs to win this 1 versus 1, and the molly doesn't quite land. Najula is on a lot of time pressure right now. Not as surely, no way to win this. Kevin peeks along, and both players likely going to go down at this spike. There is no escape, and they both know that. 9th round now for the attack.
Oh man, the sheer aggression from Team Shiiiish is just catching Pepe gang off guard. They're playing a little bit too forward on the sides, and that is the zone where the breach and the Sky pretty much have full control over. You can flash for the jet, she can go up on an off angle, dash onto the site, get the kills, and now you're on a man disadvantage when you are going back to retake that site. Maybe just a little bit more respect needs to be placed from Pepe gang to try and counter this sort of aggression that's coming out from the team of Shiiiish. Now back towards that save for Pepe gang. A shorty in the hands of Viper only. Everyone else are really rocking some classics or a frenzy in their hands. And this, unless some things go sideways, will probably end up going over to Team Shiiiish.
Even the pistol aggression from Nadatha all the way up long A. The Sky wants to get some information. And...
Doesn't check it.
Wait a minute. Uh-oh. This could be a disaster! Yeah, Nadatha. That's a beautiful kill. And not able to recover the gun, unfortunately. But that's a nice frag to be had. The flank is in, so it's been taken out. The attackers understand that the A site is likely weak, but the rotations are fast. There's 2 players that are already able to make their way back onto site until a nice little fault line in the spawn. Using that breach utility to its utmost importance, and it's beautiful. They get the spike down, and this retake is going to be nigh on impossible.
Flash is ready.
Well, Najula gets one. Again, nice shot by these pistoling players, but it shouldn't be following up to that much more. 2 kills is really all they can ask for in Gen, along with Silver, stereo frags to clean up that round. 10-6, and only 2 left to get to match point.
Yeah, but now the operator's bought up by Nadatha. This is exactly what this team could need. There is a lot of counter potential, though, on the other side. You know, that Breach and that Sky, both of them have concusses, both of them have flashes. All of that utility is pretty especially made to counter oppers like this. So Nadatha has to be creative with these angles. You can see him going on top of this off angle. Hopefully doesn't get caught out by this flash that most likely this Breach will throw. If he can dodge it, step back in, get the kill on the Breach, that's a lot of stopping power that can be garnered for this team. And no,
Oh,
Kevin, not even flashing, just going for the dry peek and getting punished for it.
that was a defensive flash, too. I mean, these defenders are really using their stuff to their metal and on mid. I think that Phoenix even spotted 3, so Najula has a lot of information for the team. No one wants to push off of it, staying disciplined, staying on the site, but they are leaving Cypher alone, not thinking that an A hit's likely. There's only 1 lurker there, so probably pretty correct in that assumption. Andrew's trying to look his way into garage. Still, a firewall is going to block his sight.
Grips are down, so the Cypher doesn't necessarily have to peek this. Although the spike is heading there now. Silvers might, if the smoke goes down at a wrong time, could end up in one or the other player dead. But he wants this. You can tell just the way by he's moving. He wants to get control of B, cut off those rotations, and make sure that the team can execute on the A site. But throughout all of this Gen, finding out the operator, this is just going to sell that A take even more.
Yeah, definitely. Here goes. I mean, Secret's right in. Taps us to look every which way, and he at least gets 1 spot through the cage, but can't land the transfer fast enough. Too many dances, too much crouching, and ends up way off target. And now even the ultimate. I think Viper hears that underneath him before that blind was able to hit. This retake is going to be still very, very difficult. Viper is stuck inside this heaven. They know exactly where he is. Andrew's trying to get those shots off. The smoke finally goes out to deny line of sight. He's spraying every which way. Doesn't know which direction the breach is at this point, but the brim still sitting very, very pretty up there. The thing is, can he even get out? That's the question. That's what they need to do if they want to make this retake happen. Andrew maybe showing a bit too much of himself, but the knives don't land at the end of the day. And even Viper gets cleaned up inside that heaven position. First here, last to leave.
Yeah, Team Shiiiish really just outclassing Pepe gang once the side switch. They, Team Shiiiish have won every single round so far on this attacking side. And you can kind of see why, right? They're using aggression very well, and they're using these defaults really well. They cut noise a lot and pretty much force feed the enemy team the information they want. You saw the Cypher kind of throw some cages over towards C, find the Opper, and I think that kind of gave some indication that a C hit was coming, but no, it was all a ruse. The A hit was on the table, and now there's going to be a full rush down from Pepe gang over towards mid.
Here.
Uh-oh. Well, that's a bit of a miss molly and a jump, hop, skip, and eventually Gen does get removed, but fortunately the jet has also been taken out, and Viper doesn't even want to recover that weapon. C-take in progress, and yeah, they read the fact that everyone just pushed down that B. There is no defenders on anywhere on either extremity of the map. They go and take that C instantly, and coming back in through replay. What? Okay,
That's
well,
passive.
maybe pulling a silver there. It's a bit unfortunate, but shots landing from these defenders. They still have only the pistols, and Andrew's the one to maybe recover. Gets 2 headshots, and the ultimate even gets expended. It's just good enough. Najula is looking the wrong direction. Kevin peeks on out, and that is match point for Team Shiiiish.
It definitely got very close towards the end. Definitely a lot closer than Team Shiiiish wanted it to be. They had to use the Rolling Thunder there just to kind of secure the round. Fortunately, Najula doesn't turn around when he hears that voice line come through. But we are on match point here. It is make or break in this first map of this best of 3 series between Team Shiiiish and Pepe gang. And with how Team Shiiiish are looking, they have the momentum in their hands. They have a bunch of guns as well. And with the aggression that they're sending towards A, they're looking to take it all.
And they want to go fast too, trying to shoot whatever trips off that might be there, but they're not even close to that deep. The dog does get one. Yeah, the stage on top of the wall. He's all the way up. I don't think the dog saw that. Managed to get at least a tripwire up, but replay is good enough to get that kill nonetheless. The jet's going to go right in. Shot the trip out, and they're good to get in the site. Taps even taking some damage off of that, and even losing his life. Sticking the spike, though, is Kevin. Is going to lose his life in return. Andrew, though, is still able to save has all the information that this team needs, gets 2 kills off of that, and now Nadata on the back lines has to try and come back in through all the fire and the flams and even the smokes all the way through sight. He's tossing his own out, trying to get back into sight, and it just doesn't work. Viper, 1 versus 3 with the operator in hands. Got the god skin, so maybe able to do something, but Andrew has the better peek and even lives off that off shot. Viper doesn't even have enough bullets in this magazine to finish this clutch without reloading. Tries to peek onto heaven, has the smokes to use at his disposal. Only one, though, cutting off that short position, and no one is even there. That smoke was absolutely useless. He has nothing to work with at this point, maybe baiting out the fact that he's trying to go down the stairs, but it's cut off. Andrew knows that that's not the case, knows that that's completely a ruse, and now the dart, I mean, surely that's it. The wall bang's gonna come through. More damage done. Viper is just delaying the inevitable. Has to find maybe at least 1 kill to try and get the consolation frag, but this is not going to happen. Team Shiiiish, 13-6, take map 1 of Haven.
Yeah, and we were at 6-6 at first half. I was talking about how close this game was going to be going into that second half, but no. Team Sheesh looking so practiced on that attacking half. And, this was, I believe, their map pick. We should see maybe a little bit something different as we head into our second map of this series. And maybe, this Brimstone might, Viper only might not be too comfortable on Brimstone, rather going for that Viper. I mean, maybe living up to
Mhm.
his name just a little bit, having to play that Brimstone on this map. And maybe once we go to something like Bind or Ascent, where Viper is a little bit better at, lineups, at kind of covering more angles, they'll have a better time on Team Pepe.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, admittedly, I think that's the one aspect that we can really point to, right? Because it's not even like Andrew didn't have someone locking horns with him that entire time. Najula was doing exceptionally on his Phoenix on the duelist for Team Pepe Gang. He's at 112 econ. That's even better than Andrew, and maybe added in fact to the fact that he just didn't buy operators. Andrew was the one investing in those bigger weapons, so perhaps that's one of the reasons why that happened. But Najula is up there, 23 and 12, almost leading up to Andrew's 25. Like that's pretty close. So it's not even like the individuality wasn't there from the side of Team Pepe Gang. It's just at the attack side. This is kind of what happens in some of these games when the team reaches attack. I think we saw this a couple days ago, even in the Knights tournament. But when a team reaches attack, that is the moment that it's time for them to prove their mettle on whatever map it is they picked. And this time, Team Sheesh definitely showed that they can play their Haven, and they showed exactly why they picked it.
Yeah, exactly. It is going to be only our first map. This is a best of three, so stick around because we've got a lot of maps ready and waiting for you guys. We'll see you guys after a short break.